Well said. Good, come back up here. Since everyone's gotten quiet, it's probably time for us to begin. First of all, good morning and thank you all for coming today. Welcome to the Mississippi University for Women listening session. I'm G. Ogletree and I'm president of the IHL board this year. And one of our privileges is to be able to visit our universities and to listen to their constituencies. So we're pleased to be here today and look forward to hearing from all of you. Several people are joining me here today, some virtually and many in person. Let me introduce those that are here in person. All the way to my far left is Charlie Stevenson, then Teresa Hubbard, then Greg Rader. I've introduced myself. This is Commissioner Alfred Rankins, and we have Dr. Armella Cummins and Don Clark. Except for Commissioner Rankin, who is in charge of everything, we are the members of the board serving at this time. Joining us virtually are Trustee Jimmy Halliburg and Jerry Griffith. So all of us are very interested in hearing from each of you today. We appreciate each of you coming today and particularly sharing your thoughts about the qualities and the qualifications for the next president for the Mississippi University for Women. Our goal is, of course, to find the most qualified individual who has both a commitment to the history, legacy, culture, and mission of the university, as well as a vision for its future and who can lead us forward. We know that you and many other W alumni and supporters across the country want to follow this search. So we have a web page that's dedicated to the search, and we encourage you to participate in following that page. You can access it from a link on the IHL homepage. If you go to the homepage, you'll see the link there, and it will be updated with progress as we continue this search process. We're only beginning the search process today. We also are live streaming the listening sessions. So we welcome those who are joining us virtually and who may not be in the room with us today. If you're watching the live stream and want to make a comment, you'll have an opportunity to give us feedback available on that site, and you'll see a form that will remain open until 5 o'clock this afternoon. So many of us are lawyers on this board, so we have ground rules. I'm sure that doesn't surprise you. I'd like you to approach the microphones or maybe the microphone. And it's fine to stand in a line if we, I see we do have some others here. Just stand there and then I'll call on you so we don't talk over each other. And if when you begin to speak, you would state your name, perhaps where you're from, particularly your affiliation with the university, whether you're alumni, staff, faculty, friends, supporter, or all of the above. And because we have multiple microphones, I will need to recognize you as we begin. There is not a time limit for each speaker, but if you would be courteous of those who are here that may want to speak, and I will reserve the right to tell you to wind it up, or as we tell my preacher, bring it in for a landing sometimes. The application process is going to occur later. So we prepare a profile after the listening session. So it really wouldn't be appropriate to start cheering for a particular person that you might think would do a great job here, because it's not that time, but that time will come later for us. And if you could refrain from doing so now, we would appreciate it. So now it's time for you to come forward and line up on the microphones and let us hear from you. And thank you again in advance for sharing your thoughts. And we don't want you to be bashful. The only way we know is to hear from you. Come ahead.
Good morning.
Morning.
My name is Valentin Bogdan, and I'm a professor here at the W. I work in the Department of Music, and this is my 13th year at the university. First of all, I'd like to thank all of you for being here this morning and for giving us your time and an opportunity to share our perspective. I personally would like the next president of the W to be a strong candidate, academic leader, someone who understands and values what this university offers, particularly the importance of the liberal arts education. The W stands as one of the few remaining liberal arts institutions in our region, and that identity is worth preserving, not only because of the W's rich history, but because liberal arts education prepares students to be strong problem solvers, effective communicators, and critical thinkers in an increasingly complex job market. I also hope that the new president of the W will be a strong advocate for the university on a local, state, and national level. Someone who consistently reminds the legislatures, the decision makers of our success in educating students, particularly Mississippians who remain in the state and contribute to its growth, helping to prevent the brain drain. Finally, the next president should be someone deeply familiar with higher education and with the W as an institution, aware of the challenges our institution has faced in the past, and also prepared to lead us thoughtfully through the challenges that may lie ahead. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hello, thank you for this opportunity. My name is Elise Wilson. I'm a two-time graduate of the W, and I also serve as the Executive Director of Development and Alumni and the MUW Foundation. I would say there are three main things that would be important in our next president. One, institutional advocacy, to have experience communicating our value and our impact to policymakers, system leadership as yourself, and external partners. Also with this comes a legislative fluency that I think would be very important for our university. Second, I think it'd be important for this to be an alum of the university who understands the W's unique role in access to education in the state of Mississippi. Also, fiscal stewardship, demonstrated financial discipline and experience overseeing complex budgets. While I do not speak for all of our alumni, this is, and I think that you would also find this is very coherent and lots of themes that our alumni would speak on that are important for our university president to have.
Thank you.
My name is Teresa Thompson, and I was born and raised in Columbus, so love this place. Swore I'd never go to the W, went to the W. Ended up working here for about 15 years as director of admissions, then went and got my degrees at all the other Mississippi institutions. So I have a good understanding of this. Left about 30 years ago to go to Georgia, and I retired as a vice president there for a 23,000 university system. And I loved it, and I think I understand higher ed. But I think it's critically important that we do have someone that understands the W and who understands Mississippi, because we are unique in many, many ways. When I was retiring from Georgia and I was living in Savannah area, I had many people say to me, why in the world would you want to retire back to Mississippi? Well, that hurt my heart many, many times because I love this place and I retired back because I love this place. So what I ask for you today is that we do need a good, strong leader, and we're depending on you to help us with that. Someone who understands the W, who understands Mississippi, and who can be an advocate for this university. And I'll promise you this, if you give us that good, strong leader, then we'll make every one of you proud. I guarantee it. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
I'm Elaine Goodman. I'm a three-time graduate of the W. I went through in the nursing program first, and I had the opportunity after that to have a job any day that I needed or wanted one. When I suffered a case of burnout, they gave me a 3 months leave of absence. I came to the art department and took a ceramics course. The faculty there showed me a world that I hardly knew existed and I had no hope of ever being part of. It took me 9 years, but I did achieve a BFA. They sent me on to a life that I never dreamed of. The summer after I graduated, they sent me to a gallery in Atlanta. They opened a gallery in New York. I was in the Rolling Stone magazine. I want to speak today for the people of the non-traditional student. My daughter-in-law, in her first marriage, was divorced and had a child, had to work part-time, go to school part-time. She has a degree from here in accounting, has a good job. Her daughter and son-in-law both graduated here and have good jobs. My grandson will graduate in May. Not one of the 5 of us ever had to take a cent of student loans. You can go here. It might not be easy. It might not be quick. It might take a while. But here we were welcomed, taken care of, helped in every way that we could possibly be helped. My father was a night watchman here. My father-in-law worked in maintenance. My mother-in-law worked in the laundry. That generation is the difference between people who got to have an education and those who didn't. I hope that the next president will be something of Dr. Limbert's experience. She had the worst childhood of any story I have ever heard. She overcame all of it to become president of a university. I hope that the slot will always be here for other people like me and my family, the non-traditional student. Everybody isn't wealthy. Big isn't always better. And I want the W to be what it's always been. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Chuck Yarbrough. I'm not a graduate of MUW, but my son is. Was a student athlete here. I have been on this campus for 31 years as a faculty member at the Mississippi School for Mathematics and Science. And I would look for in the next president of MUW, somebody who truly recognizes the special sauce of this place. I don't know of another institution, four-year institution in our state that builds community in the way that MUW does. It is a statistical fact that MUW has a higher percentage of its graduates that live in the state of Mississippi and work in the state of Mississippi than any other four-year institution. And I feel pretty certain it is not the state institution that had received the highest funding from our legislature. So as a return on investment, MUW is a steal of a deal, as I like to tell my kids, look for those, for our state. And I'd like a president who recognized that. I also would like a president for this university that recognizes the strength of the partnership with my school. MSMS has been a leadership incubator for our state, according to our alums, and we have a disproportionately huge number of graduates of our school, which lines up with the nursing school at MUW, that live in our state and contribute to our state. So when we think about workforce development, MUW is a star in that regard, as is our school, MSMS. And I'd like a future president to recognize that partnership and hopefully to continue to grow it. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Good morning.
Morning.
I'm Betty Ruth Hawkins. I'm a 1975 graduate of MUW. And what I hope is that what I'd like to see in the next president is what you want to see in the next president. A leader that the university can trust and that the state can believe in with a clear vision for what the W and what comes next. At this point, the W doesn't need to be reintroduced or redefined. It needs to be led. We've come through years where the conversation has been about survival, merger questions, the MS issue. Those are real and more than likely will surface again. However, they are not what we need at this moment. We need a champion, not a defender. A champion would be a strong female leader with a clear vision, mission-driven for the W. Someone who brings a broad external perspective and energy to the ever-changing higher education landscape. Someone who understands how Mississippi works. With direct experience in the legislative, appropriation, and policy processes, and who sees how the W fits inside that network to build on our workforce development and economic growth. Just as important, this is a leader who turns ideas into actions and follows through with the result. Accountability would be very high on the list. Someone who has demonstrated strong financial and wise decisions and can be trusted to lead in the discipline and the direction that the W needs to go. It's the kind of leadership that will carry us forward with confidence, with enthusiasm, inspiration, and hope. We have gone down a path where we have worked hard just to keep our head above the water. We are on a platform and a foundation right now that is incredibly positive. And someone who understands where we are will be able to move us forward without losing ground and having to learn how to catch up. I'm grateful that there's so many of you here today. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
A short one, I guess. My name's Christy DiClemente. I'm the chair of history, political science, and geography, and I'm a history professor here at the W. And I just got my 10-year pin, so I've been here for, it'll be 10 years. It's very exciting. So I agree with what everyone else said, someone who can talk to legislators, but as a faculty member who works very closely with students and who cares a lot about our students, I kind of want to add on to what Elaine said, although I could not compete with what she said. But I want to, I want a president to understand that our students are often non-traditional, whether that's in age, caregiving responsibilities, socioeconomic status. And so understanding the place where our students are now, I think is really important. And as a faculty member, I also would really like a president who recognizes the expertise of the faculty and staff on campus and is willing to consult with us about different aspects of the university. I mean, we have experts from all different fields here. And I would love to have a president who really appreciates the expertise we can bring to problem solving and questions and those kinds of things. So someone who understands higher ed in that way would be really, it would be really nice as a faculty member. Thank you.
Well, I wanted to let everyone go first because I do want to make sure that everyone's not saying the same thing that I would say. And the only thing unique that I have, my name is Catherine Borer. I'm Director of Alumni Relations. We just completed our Super Bowl on campus, homecoming. So we had over 400 alums on campus, and I'm still reeling from that, just to let you know. But with that said, something unique I have to add is emotional intelligence. I feel like kind of compounding on what others have said, we have a very unique campus. We have a very unique alumni body. We've been going since 1884. Therefore, we do have all ages. And as they said, we have had a lot of students here over the years who have survived only because of the unique campus that we have, and only because of financial assistance through the foundation and smaller class sizes and one-on-one with our amazing faculty. So I do feel like whoever is going to lead this school has to not only understand that uniqueness, grasp it, but have the emotional intelligence to meet all of our diverse population where they are. I feel like I'm being repetitive in saying that because everyone has said that, but I do want to drive that home. But especially with our alums and them coming from different places, I really feel like I said, emotional intelligence is something that they are really going to need to have on top of being highly intelligent and able to balance a budget. That's a lot.
Thank you.
Morning. My
Morning.
name is Reggie Hankins. I'm a native of Columbus. I'm a retired banker here in town. So I have brief comments, and mine are a little bit on the opposite side of what y'all are looking at. Looking at the total economic impact of MUW for this community and the state of Mississippi is in excess of $215 million, but also for the social benefit from graduates of MUW is in excess of $490 million. Folks, that's a lot from folks that have come through these hallowed halls. I've known about MUW from since I was just a small child, and it's been a very big impact from a social standpoint, from just being involved in the community of Columbus, and also what it does to affect the state of Mississippi. And I would look for a leader that would take these aspects into consideration, not only from an academic standpoint, but from the social benefit standpoint that it provides. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Know a few of you. I may call on you if you come and help us.
Hi, I'm Lisa Griffin. I'm an assistant professor in the School of Nursing. I'm a two-time MUW graduate, and am finishing up year 11 as a faculty member here. I love this university. Obviously, I drive an hour and 10 minutes to get here one way every day. But for the future of this university, I think we need someone who is definitely financially minded, because that has seemed to be a major issue on campus. I do think not that it doesn't have to be an alumni or could be an alumni. I do think it needs to be from outside of the university, somebody who can come in with an objective mind and think through things and not be swayed by maybe friendships or previous relationships, and will do what is best for this university to carry us forward. Yes, we need to maintain our history and our roots, but we also need to meet the needs of the future that will be coming onto our campus. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, I thought I'd get up here before I'm called on, being on the front row. I'm Dana McLean. I'm from Columbus. I grew up here. The W is a very important part of my personal history. I've had piano recitals at Poindexter Hall. I had father-daughter Girl Scout banquets at Hogarth. Girl Scout campouts at Carrier Lodge, which was a W property. So the W is very important to me, although I didn't attend here. My daughter did attend the Mississippi School for Mathematics and Science, so I was here a lot the 2 years that she was here. So what I feel that we need for a new president would be someone who knows how to navigate the legislature. By the way, I'm in the legislature. I'm state representative, and I have part of Lowndes and part of Monroe County. And I've been there for 7 years. I'm on colleges and universities. I'm also on workforce development. So I think it's really important that we have someone who can navigate that landscape in Jackson. I think we need a very strong leader. I think I would prefer a female leader because of the W's history, someone who can understand this university and how special it is. And I'd like to echo some of the things that were said earlier about the fact that this is an important part of our community. It really is. We see W students all over Columbus. It's very important to us. And Columbus supports this university. And I feel like if we had someone who had a vision for this university as it relates to workforce, I think this university could be the best nursing school in the country. We know it is one of the best in our area, in the Southeast. We need nurses. Healthcare is very important to Mississippi. I think we could be a leader right here in this small town and expand our nursing program. We need nurse anesthetists all over the state. I've been involved in discussions with that. We need other areas of healthcare, and I think we could have that here. Someone with a vision, someone that could see the school as a beacon. We need good teachers. I'm on the education committee as well. We need good teachers. We need teachers that will stay in our state. We need to support them. We have a good education department. We could make that even better. So I think that if we had someone with a vision, someone who could see this university as helping our state needs as well as running this university, I would like to thank you for being here to hear from us. And I wish you all the best in this search. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes.
Sorry, the pillar kind of cuts out Miss Teresa Hubbard. Apologies. I'm CT Salazar. I'm a faculty here at the MUW. Recently relocated from my home in the Mississippi Delta. So this is actually the second listening session I've attended, one being Delta State. The biggest important quality for me in a leader and someone I want to follow is someone who treats all workers, faculty, and staff with dignity, and that we all deserve dignified treatment and that we all contribute to a positive experience for our students. Thank you for your time.
Hi, my name is Tyler Wheat. I'm the communications director at the W. Been here 14 years, starting in admissions as a recruiter. So I visited the state of Mississippi from one end to the other, promoting the W, and just do it in a different capacity these days. Other affiliations with the university, my father worked here in facilities management for years. My mother and sister are both alumni of the university. I earned my graduate degree from the university here during COVID and online. That was a fun experience. As you well know, higher ed is a challenging lead these days between enrollment cliffs, both national and statewide political challenges. Financial appropriations is not always, everybody always wants more. And sometimes we can't get more. So it's a challenging position and it's not an easy job to fill. University presidents don't last long these days. And so it comes with, as an old saying said, heavy is the head that wears the crown. So our next leader here at the university has big shoes to fill. So I think that person is someone who needs to have the vision and the capability to lead us through these challenging times, have strategic goals, to know what's necessary to navigate the university of the future and the university of tomorrow, and what that looks like. We have, as mentioned, great education, great nursing that I would put against anyone in the country, and great faculty. What you hear is that students leave here empowered and changed because of the relationships that happen on this campus. And I think the greatest strength of this campus is the people. And by people, I mean students, faculty, staff, anyone on this campus. I believe that's one of our greatest strengths because we have truly great people here. So the next leader needs to embrace and empower those people to do the job the best of their ability. I also feel that in order to get the best candidate out there, whoever that may be, across this nation, because I feel like this university is strong enough to pull a candidate from somewhere across this nation that it would be great. Someone have great involvement in the history of this university, but I don't think we can limit that just to alumni and to a gender. I think it'd be an open candidate of full qualifications and that's able to strategically and lay out a vision and navigate the challenges that face not just our university, but other universities in higher ed. Thank you for your time here today. Appreciate your commitment and all the efforts that go into a search for a president.
Thank you.
Hi, thank you for being here. Chanley Rainey, I'm a assistant professor of political science. I guess I've been here 9 years, if Christy's been here 10. Yes, what a lot of people have said, I want to echo. I do want to say we are in the process of re-envisioning our strategic goals and priorities for the next 5 years. And so just to reinforce some of the things you've heard today, I would say that listening to all of the stakeholders as we kind of narrowed down what our goals and priorities should be. Some things that came up in that conversation have also been said here. Advocacy, like having someone who can confidently engage with all kinds of different stakeholders outside of the university and advocate for us and tell, the story of our particular strengths is something that came up over and over again, and I think has to be part of our next leader. The other thing, which I think goes back to, yes, what you've heard from Elaine and others, is that we excel at guiding students on a journey that they may not think is possible at the outset, right? They come to us, they may not have guides in their families who can show them what the path looks like. They may not really believe fully that they can make it to the end. And we can't be all things to all people, but we are really good at that. And so we need somebody who can come to this job and see the prestige in that. And you really do with, our budget. You have to inspire the people here to work more than the job they're actually paid to work to make that possible, all the way from admissions through, through faculty and everybody else. So that is, I think those are the two things, somebody who understands what we bring to the student experience, that we are wraparound services. And somebody who can convey that and convey how successful we are at that to the people who, you know, decide where the money goes. Thank you.
Thank you.
My name is Trip Harston, and I have the pleasure of serving as the president of the Board of Supervisors for Lowndes County. So I've been an advocate for the W. My mother is an W graduate, and I happen to know personally some on the IHL board, and I really do appreciate y'all being here today, and certainly for that, it's good to see friends. My focus is very narrow, and so I have to say that I have no academic prowess or anything that needs to be there. So I would say reiterate what needs to be on an academic level. But on a local leadership level, I think we certainly need somebody with extreme communication skills. So if I were on the interviewing committee, I would ask to have some proven record of good communication. I would also reiterate what Representative said here about being an advocate in the legislature. And an advocate on IHL. And so those are my two big focuses, is being an advocate and being a communicator. So, thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Ethan Wilkins. I get the great opportunity to serve as a Student Government Association president. I'm a soon-to-be 2026 graduate of the W. I'll graduate in less than a month, thank goodness. But I stand here and just thankful for, again, for you all to be here and to listen. I think you'll get to hear from us in a couple of days at the IHL board meeting regarding the SGA presentation. Thank you for the opportunity for that. But someone told me, and I never realized the impact that the W has on its community and the surrounding areas. But there are students at the W that would never have a degree unless they didn't come to the W. And I love that the W pushes first generation college students, and we foster that, and we pour into that community. And I stand here, I spoke at a first generation college student event. And I say I stand here not as a first generation college student, but as a second generation college student. My dad was the first of his family to go to college, and how much it's set a precedence in my life and my brother's life, and an importance of getting an education and giving back to a community and giving back to your state. So someone that understands the value that we have here at the W and the role that we play, not only in our town, our community, but also the state and the region. And like everyone said, an effective communicator and the transparency to students, because we get the boots on the ground level of what's affected on the day-to-day basis, and being able to advocate what we have at the W and just what it's meant to me, being able to get involved in research. I'm a biology major. I've studied cystic fibrosis for about 2 years. And being able to communicate our importance in those areas. Now, of course, we're very well known for our speech language pathology, our nursing, and our culinary arts, but someone that's able to effectively communicate not only those strengths, but other aspects of our university. Thank you all.
Thank you. Looking forward to hearing from the student body presidents at the next meeting. And like when Jane and I had that role, Jane participated for all of us, as I recall. Other comments? As we write profiles, we also identify things to tell candidates. So if there's something you think we should tell candidates, that would be fair to tell us too. We all have surprises, but we try to minimize those. That's fair. Come on,
Sorry, Christy DiClemente from History Department. On that note, what to tell a candidate, something that Tyler alluded to that I think is really special is that a president who comes here has to know that we're very people oriented. If you want something done, you don't call a department, you call a person. And so you have to know who those people are. And when I first got here, I was learning how to teach online, and they said, well, if you have any problems, call Rick. And I'm like, who the heck is Rick? And so the president has to know who the heck Rick is, who isn't here anymore, by the way, so don't call Rick. But the president has to like know who we are, and not just our departments, but also what our strengths are, what our weaknesses are, because we're all individually holding down a department. And so having a president who knows who we are as people is really important. And I think everyone here agrees, it's kind of what makes the W special, is that we all know each other here, and that's really special.
Thank you.
I wasn't going to stand up, but since I haven't taken a poll, but I may be the person here who has the most children who've attended the W. I feel like maybe I should say something. So I spoke to some of y'all beforehand. I think I misspoke. I've had 4 children that have attended here, 3 daughters and a son. 1 daughter works here. 2 sons-in-laws have attended. I met my husband when he was a student here before he transferred to state as an engineer. So he's had the big school experience and he's had the W experience, and he sees the value of both, and he gives me his money to support the W. Because I was very fortunate that I got to stay home and homeschool all 7 of my children. And I just want to say that as the president, what they're saying, the W is a family, it's a community. And we don't just view the president as an administrator. We view the president as someone who we're right there with. And if the president, I guess to say to a future candidate, if we know that they love us and that they're supporting our school, we're going to have their back, and they're going to have the most impassioned alums behind them. I graduated in 1988, and I can honestly say that I would not be where I am. And I know that's a cliche thing, but I came to the W. My parents were going through a divorce my senior year in high school, and it was a money thing. My mama said to me, you can't go where you can't get the money. And I tried all the other in-state schools, and the W was the only one that could give me what I needed. All of my children, except for one, have graduated without debt, and my one that will be graduating in a couple of years, he does have a little debt, but that's his decision because he didn't want mom and dad to foot his bill. He's very independent. All of my children who've gone here, they've all been different. They've all had unique experiences, but professors will tell you one of the things that makes the W so unique is it's not a cookie cutter school. And we have students that come from all different backgrounds. And as you know, the majority of our students, when you look at their demographic backgrounds, they're not students that would thrive at big, expensive universities. And as alums were back this weekend for homecoming, and I was there, and one of my daughters, she's going into political journalism. So Sally Birchfield Doty was here, and I was able to say to Sally, okay, Sally, this is my daughter who's going to go into journalism. Give me people I can contact. Kimberly Griffin, who was formerly with Mississippi Free Press. She's met Kimberly, and I was able to say, Kimberly, Mary's looking for internships this summer. And it's those intimate bonds. I didn't graduate with Kimberly. Sally and I were in the same class, but we weren't close as students. But the W stays family long after graduation. And I just say that not only do I want the president to know that if they come in supporting us, we're going to love them wholeheartedly. We want a president who believes in the importance of a small, close-knit, individual-oriented education. Again, my husband graduated from state and he got the best engineering degree he could have gotten from the world. I have other people in my family who, my brother graduated from Ole Miss. He was a doctor. That's where he needed to be. But there's a lot of people coming from Mississippi small towns, a lot of homeschoolers, a lot of people who went to high schools where their whole entire high school could fit in this classroom, where they come here and they're not number so-and-so. From day one, they walk on the campus, and with the first week, their professors are going to know their name. If they skip class, their professor's going to see them in the cafeteria and say, so-and-so, where were you in class today? And so I want to see a president who knows the value of a small college. But at small college, it's not small in might. It's not small in potential. It's not small in impact. It is a country, it is a nation. It is a school that impacts the nation and the world. When I was a missionary living in Africa, I was there because of what I got here at Mississippi University for Women. And even when I was there, the W was here supporting me. So I want a president who's going to believe in the students that can come from this small school and go out into this big world and make an even bigger impact. So thank y'all for being here.
Thank you.
That made me think of one more thing. Thank you, Elisa. I've really loved everything you said. She's one of my alums who's very, very active. I didn't say this. I'm a 3-time grad. I came on campus in 2000. And one thing that I have always been so proud of the W about is we are constantly evolving. And I would like that president to know that we are constantly evolving, and you need to be ready to pivot with the times and what's going on at that time on this campus. So that's one thing I wanted to add.
Thank you. Any other comments? Come in.
So I don't know why I'm standing up here, but I'm Susan Jones, MSCW class of 1969. And one thing you can tell them is Columbus is a wonderful place to live. Not only will the faculty and the students and everyone who works here embrace them, the city of Columbus will embrace them also, and they will love living here. Just one other thing that piggybacks on what other people have said. I had the privilege 2 years ago of auditing a class as a lifelong learner. It was a history class taught by Dr. Erin Kempker, who was a fabulous, fabulous professor. And in that class, there were 10 of us. I was one of 10. All those students, except one, were commuters. None of them lived on campus. And that was a very difficult class. It was much harder than the classes that I had when I was here in the 60s. So those students that are here are getting a wonderful education. They were, several people have said, they are not students who would thrive in a big campus, but they can thrive here. So I hope that you will choose someone that will love Columbus, love the W, love the students, and really put their effort into working with the representatives and everyone in Jackson to get funding and make this a wonderful place that it will continue to be.
Thank you. Thank you. Other comments? We've been here almost an hour. If you do have comments, you can still submit those online because we will review those. Would appreciate receiving comments. We know there are a lot of people who are in class or working or otherwise involved that's the way they'll comment to us, and we will review those and take those into consideration. Leaving the script a little, higher education is not held in the esteem that it was in the past. So I think it's up to all of us and all of you to help promote higher education. It may not be for everybody, but it's for a whole lot of people. And it can generationally lift families, as y'all have said. You know, it makes a huge difference in what happens to the next generation in that family. And you've seen that here in all of your programs. Certainly, we have to be focused on careers, and we have to be focused on the return on investment from the various jobs that are available for students. But we also have to look at how liberal arts help people think about what's not in that AI program. You know, what else needs to be included. So we need to look very broadly at all of those things. So I appreciate y'all coming today. I would appreciate you promoting the W. Appreciate you participating in the alumni and community activities and giving to the foundation and doing all the things that help promote our schools. We thank you for coming today and for giving us these very thoughtful comments. And we appreciate your candor about the qualities you're looking for in a president. We think the most important thing that we probably do as a board is to select what we call IEOs, institutional educational officials, for our various universities. And we are going to try to obtain the type leader that you're looking for, that you need to build on the foundation we have here, who can take the W to the next level and keep it focused on the future in our ever-changing educational environment. So if you would review the website that I mentioned to you earlier, it will help you keep up to date on the status of the search process. And if you have not spoken and you would like to, please complete that online survey that will close at 5 o'clock today. This will conclude our session at this time. We'll have another session this afternoon at 2 o'clock. Thank you very much.